Welcome back to the Raw Food Health Empowerment Podcast. I'm your host, Samantha Salmon, certified brain optimization coach. I'm passionate about helping individuals just like yourself overcome limiting beliefs to unlock their full potential. And today, we're going to explore those beliefs and how they can impact those fighting type 2 diabetes and discuss strategies for breaking free from these mental barriers to achieve better health and well-being. Limiting beliefs are powerful thoughts that can shape our reality and hinder our progress, especially when it comes to managing chronic conditions like type 2 diabetes. And as a brain optimization coach, I've seen firsthand how these beliefs can hold people back from making positive changes in their lives. One common limiting belief is the idea that having diabetes is a personal failure or weakness. This belief can lead to feelings of guilt, shame, and low self-worth, making it challenging to find the motivation to make necessary lifestyle changes. It's crucial to remember that diabetes is a complex condition influenced by various factors. It's not a reflection of your character or value as a person. My grandmother had type 2 diabetes. She was a wonderful, loving human being. She knew all the right things to eat. She was eating very cleanly and wholefully in her hometown of Jamaica, West Indies. Her husband got sick and she had to come over to America as an immigrant to financially have a better life and provide for her children. She had 8 children. Some were in college and getting started in the work world, while some were still of school age, right? And so she had a lot of responsibilities on her now with these 8 kids and a sick husband in Jamaica, West Indies. Her diabetes is only a reflection of the sick food system we have here in America. And there's a lot of reasons how we got here. Folks are really hooked on processed foods. And that's basically what happened to my grandmother. She went from being in a very natural environment where, her husband had a sugarcane mill and farm. And that's how, they were financially, doing well before he got sick. Once he got sick, yes, out on the yard, there's fruits growing, all sorts of like mangoes and coconuts and different things. And you have greenery you can eat out there on the yard. So they had food available to them right there. But now you come to Queens, New York, or actually they entered first, I think, Brooklyn, New York, and you're in the concrete jungle. So you can't get food unless you pay for it, and you need to have a job to pay for it. And healthy food, we know for a long time, actual whole foods is more money than ultra processed food. So this is the kind of like sick food system we're living in right now. And so this is not, her type 2 diabetes diagnosis was not a fault of hers. It is just a situation going from a healthy environment to a toxic environment. And this is the situation we're in right now. So there's no sense in really beating yourself up, because it does not help you get to the other side of the diagnosis where you can actually reverse the disease of type 2 diabetes. Another limiting belief is the idea that genetics solely determine health outcomes, leading to a fatalistic mindset and a lack of proactivity in managing diabetes. Genetics can play a small role in many health issues, including brain health issues, right? All that means for us, like for example, when we talk about things like Alzheimer's and dementia and Alzheimer's in the medical system, they're calling type 3 diabetes because the pathway that causes type 2 is the same thing that is causing Alzheimer's. It's just manifesting in a different area of the body. But with these diseases, Alzheimer's and dementia, you're more at risk for getting them if you have 1 or 2 parents with the APOE4 gene, right? So if you have 2 parents with this gene, you're even more at risk than someone with 1 parent. And the 1 parent is even more at risk than someone who has, both their parents do not have the gene at all, right? What does this mean? This means that, you can do genetic testing for this, just like with your blood sugar, when you get your physical at the doctor, you're checking those blood sugar numbers, and you want to be monitoring that. At the same time, if your labs are telling you that you're at risk for something, it does not mean that you are destined to get it. There are things that you can do, lifestyle changes that you can make, nutritional changes that you can make to put yourself on a different path, right? So right now, as you're watching this is an exercise I go through with all my clients, and we're going to go through this on my upcoming training, Beat Stress Eating. We start early June, so definitely go over to rawfoodmealplanner.com and register. I'll also have a link in the show notes. But you're at a fork in the road. You can continue to do what you've been doing with the mindset that you've been doing it, that there's nothing you can do, and that you'll be on these pharma drugs forever. This is not the way to. I would highly encourage you not to stay on that road, because what I noticed from my personal experience with my grandmother is being on the pills, while it helped her for a long time to continue eating a certain type of way so the pills would work. That is what in the medical field they call managing. My work, I'm more interested in reversal. I'm not really interested in managing, right? Of course, in the beginning, we need to clear out the fat out of the muscle cells, right? In order to prime your body for reversal. But if you stay on that managing track, then you don't get to the reversal stage. And with my grandmother on that management track, eventually what happened was her pancreas could no longer even work at the stage it was working before. Remember, these pharma drugs are not benign, right? You're having consequential effects of taking it over a prolonged period of time. Eventually, she had to get these long insulin shots into her stomach to start providing insulin, right? Because her pancreas could no longer make it or wasn't making enough. And that quickly led to her big toe turning black, and that quickly led to her death, right? It was just a progression of the disease as opposed to a reversal. So we want to work in the opposite direction, right? And if you are not on a lifestyle plan to get you on the road of reversal, then I highly encourage you to reach out and book a call with me. You can book a call with me at rawfoodmealplanner.com. Or if you've already identified that the reason why, like you kind of know what you need to do to reverse this type 2 diabetes diagnosis, but you are having difficulty doing it because processed food, addiction to processed food and unhealthy foods has you basically in the grips of it, right? Sign up and register for my free training, Beat Stress Eating, because we go into all of that. Some individuals may also believe that they can't enjoy food anymore because of their diabetes, or that medication is a sign of weakness. I just, first of all, want to talk about the food, okay? I had a training at one point called Enjoy Sweet Foods and Reverse Type 2 Diabetes, something like this, right? And I will be explaining on this training, Beat Stress Eating training, how that actually works, the mechanism for how that works. Where you can do that, right? So the whole concept of not being able to enjoy foods is false. And the only time that you will really get to understand that that's a false limiting belief is by actual experimentation with foods, right? This is where coaching comes into play, because we tell ourselves these things. Just like when I was younger, I used to tell myself that all green foods were nasty and avocado nasty, right? I'm first generation Jamaican American. My family loved eating avocados. They were always around, but it was green, it was mushy, and it was just so different than the foods that I was used to eating. So I just was like, ugh. But then when I decided to go vegan, right? And I started to experiment with new foods. I experimented with Hass avocados, which is very different than Caribbean avocados, right? They're like, I believe there are about 80 different types of avocados out there, okay? And I was in love. I was like, oh my goodness, I had no idea this thing was so bomb, right? It's perfect. It's so versatile. But I had closed the door as a young person to all these foods I could have been enjoying that now I get to enjoy. Even one of my newer foods that I really love these days are artichokes. I hadn't had much experience with artichokes in the past, right? There's so many foods out there. And it's a really enjoyable, fun exploration of trying these new, different foods. So this is a journey, right? But to get started, it may be really helpful to talk to a coach. And you can book a call with me on my website at rawfoodmealplanner.com to kind of discuss it and kind of start this whole journey of exploration. Like I said, these limiting beliefs, they can foster a negative relationship with food and treatment. When you start to change your diet, right? Let's say we work together on reversal of type 2 diabetes. You have to be in communication with your doctor. This is not something where you just stop your medication. You can run the risk of going into hypoglycemia because we are utilizing food as medicine. So it's having the same, if not greater, impact on the body as the pharma drugs. And so I am part, as a health coach, as a certified health coach, I'm part of a healthcare team working alongside physicians, right, with my clients and the rest of their healthcare team to help you reach your health goals, right? So it's a collaboration. It's not something where you just drop the medication. I don't necessarily want to demonize medication. Like, it's not my first option, but if you are already diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, you have to get on a treatment plan to stabilize yourself and then work on reversal, right? It's not one or the other based on the stage you are right now. Now, if you are someone or know someone who's dealing with pre-diabetes, then obviously you don't need to be taking medication for something like that. And I'm pretty sure your doctor would agree, right? Of course, you always want to lean in on your doctor for advice around meds. But my understanding, folks with pre-diabetes are not on meds and are not being given meds. And you're in a really great space at that point to start utilizing nutrition and lifestyle to put yourself on reversal so you never get to the stage where you have to take any meds. So to overcome these limiting beliefs, it's essential to acknowledge the question, acknowledge these beliefs, right? Acknowledge that they exist, acknowledge that, they could be holding you back, right? And think about, is this belief really serving me? Gather the evidence to counter the belief, right? About how and reframe these beliefs. And we actually go through working through the mindset stuff around this healthy lifestyle in my upcoming training, Beat Stress Eating. So definitely make sure to click the link in the bio to register for that, or go to rawfoodmealplanner.com to register. But you need to take action. Taking action is key to solidifying new empowering beliefs. Start small, focus on achievable goals, and you want to incorporate more nutrient-dense foods. Raw foods is a great tool that I encourage my clients to utilize because it accelerates the healing process of the body. And find enjoyable forms of physical activity, right? On the physical activity benefits in many ways, not necessarily directly for type 2 diabetes, but indirectly. And I go into all the mechanisms as to how that works on my upcoming training. So I hope to see you there for the Beat Stress Eating training we have coming up in June, and actually, work to break free from these limiting beliefs. I'll take you through a technique on how to do that. We'll be talking about some nutrition, some of the fears that are coming up for you, and to really start the process to break free from these beliefs and thoughts that are holding you back so you can actually step into that new healthy identity you have for yourself. Remember, you have the power to create change in your life. Regardless of your health challenges, By identifying and overcoming limiting beliefs, you open yourself up to a world of possibilities and can become the best version of yourself. So thank you for tuning in to the Raw Food Health Empowerment Podcast. If you found value in this episode, please share it with someone who may be struggling with similar challenges. And together we can support and empower each other on the path to optimal health and well-being. Take care.